What is good, everybody? It's your boy Patrick, and that was probably the cringiest intro I could have done, but I thought it was funny, and I just remembered when I was about to record this that, funny enough, I didn't actually show you guys this because the last YouTube video I made was my show day where I placed 5 out of 15th at the Barrie Natural Championship. An absolutely stacked class, but I definitely deserved my placing. If you know, my best placing was 5 out of 15, so that meant no medals. At the end of that video, I talked about how I was doing another show, which was a CanFit Pro, which was 2 weeks later, and that one, as you can tell, went a little bit better. Now there was less competition, there was less overall competitors, and it was a smaller show. So obviously my best placings were first and second in the junior classic division, and then in the novice classic division. So first in novice and then second in junior. So no complaints there. Ended up picking up my hardware and performed a lot better. I didn't do too much different, honestly. I just kind of knew more what was going to happen and what the whole kind of show day experience was like. So I was definitely a lot calmer in the second show, and I was a lot more relaxed. I made sure to stay off my feet. And then obviously the 2 weeks leading up, I did pull my calories down a little bit more. So I did get a little bit tighter and just had a lot more polished and complete look, and really just showed off the condition that I had, which I definitely made the mistake on the first show of, you know, getting too stressed out, overeating, running around backstage, which kind of destroyed my physique near the end. Not that I think, you know, if I did everything perfectly the first time around, I would have placed any better. I probably would have still been around, you know, that 4th to 5th place. But in my first ever show, I got first call outs, and then 2 weeks later, at a less competitive show, I ended up getting, you know, first and second in my respective divisions, and picked up some medals. So that was just a little update for you guys, so I can put these away now. And now I can get into the real meat and potatoes of this video, and that is I'm going on prep again. Okay, sort of, but not really. Not prepping for a bodybuilding show, but basically bodybuilding has honestly changed my life, and I want to live the rest of my life, or the rest of the foreseeable future, on prep. And let me explain to you what that actually means. So I started my bodybuilding prep at 212.8 pounds, and I had a 22-week in total bodybuilding prep, and my lowest ever weigh-in was 161.8. So for 22 weeks, I lost 51 pounds, and in that time, I learned what it meant to be locked in. You hear a lot of people talk about it, you hear a lot of people post about it, you hear more people trying to sell you on it, but I was truly locked in for the last 22 weeks, and it was the happiest I ever felt in my life. It was the most fulfilled I ever felt in my life. It was the most accomplished I ever felt in my life, and it was the closest thing I ever felt to actually living. I had a goal in mind of getting stage level single digit body fat. I knew I had 22 weeks to do it. In that time, I did not miss a single step. I did not miss a single workout. I did not count a single calorie. I did not miss a single minute of cardio. And it completely changed my life. My coaching business exploded. My social medias did better than they ever had. I was probably producing the best content I ever had in that time. I was able to help the most people because the most people were seeing my stuff. Most people were signing up for coaching, joining my team, getting themselves crazy transformations. And in that kind of moment, I realized, like, I got bit by the bodybuilding bug. I realized, like, this is what I'm meant to do every day. And now that I'm post-show, now that I'm like a month post-show, you know, at first I got hit with that kind of pro show. I don't want to call it depression, but it really was, because you just go from the most insane high of looking the best you ever have. You know, content does the best it ever does. Every single day you wake up with a purpose, you see the scale drop, you see changes in the mirror. It's just a peak of dopamine, all leading up to that point where you step on stage. All your family and friends are there supporting you. Your post-show meal, food tastes amazing. You still look amazing when you look in the mirror the next 2 to 3 days. And then after that, from the top, it just goes down. You start to get fluffy, you notice the fat gain, you know, your kind of love for training dips a little bit because you're still not peak strength, but you're not peak shreds anymore. You kind of feel like you don't want to post shredded shit because it's old. Content's not going to do as well, people don't care as much, views are down, and all that stuff can just get in your head so much that you fall off the horse. And honestly, for a few weeks post-show, I definitely did. I had no urgency to train, I had no urgency to stick my diet, I had no urgency to make content, and it was good for a little bit of a mental reset and a mental break. But nearing the end of that few weeks, I truly just felt like, bro, what the hell am I doing with my life? And it's so crazy that just a few weeks before nailing all the variables I needed to execute on every single day, not giving myself an option, just getting done what I need to get done, how good that could feel and how productive you could feel and how, motivated and good and locked in you could feel, to just a few weeks later being the complete opposite and feeling like complete shit. And it's not even specific to bodybuilding, because I know so many people that are similar to me, where like when you're on a routine, when you're on a structure, when you're making progress in all aspects of your life, even though you're doing what you need to do, you feel better than if you just pissed off, you were lazy, you sat in bed all day, you didn't go to work, you didn't make money, you didn't care about your diet, you ate fast food. And kind of that contrast like really put it into perspective. Like on the outside, people would think like, bro, this guy's weighing all his food, he's not missing his training, he's doing what he needs to get done. Like at the end of the day, he wakes up early, he goes to bed tired. Like that sounds like so shit. Like you're not even living a life, you're just performing. But it's funny because when I was just performing was the best I ever felt mentally, physically, spiritually. The most appreciation I've had for people around me, the most appreciation I had for my own life, the most I could help people through my coaching business, the most I could help people through my content doing the best. So what my plan is now, a month post show, yes, I'm hopping back on prep, but not on prep for another bodybuilding show. I'm adopting the prep mindset in my head forever. And the reason why is simple. The best I ever felt was on prep. The most I've ever progressed in my life in terms of my coaching business, in terms of my content, in terms of my personal development, my spiritual development, was on prep. And I just saw how my life could change and how quickly it could change in just 22 weeks of how long my prep was, of just not giving yourself an option, not thinking and overthinking, just simply executing, taking action every single day, and not thinking you have an option, knowing what you need to get done and simply just doing. Acting over thinking. And I thought to myself, if how much has changed and progressed in my life after doing that for 22 weeks, what happens if I did that for an entire year? What happens if I do that for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? What type of life will I be living? How many people can I help? What type of family life can I have? How would I feel about myself? How would others around me feel? What kind of life could I create for myself, and what type of relationship could I have with people and with God? So I've fully started my off season, which is probably going to be between 1.5 to 2 years of purely bulking and growing again, similar to what I did before, but this time it's a little bit different because I hired a coach. I'm working with Adam Powell, who is a big natural bodybuilder out of the UK. He's a very well-renowned coach. He's worked with other coaches like AJ Morrison, who I consider top of the top in terms of natural bodybuilding. So he's worked directly under him for the last few years, and now I'm working with him, and I've hired him as my coach to, one, help me with my off season, just maximizing all my potential in terms of developing my physique. Obviously, I had glaring weaknesses, the legs, so he's going to help me create a plan that I can execute on to bring that up. And then most likely I'll stick with him depending on how it goes, obviously throughout the entire off season, and then all the way up until I start another prep, which will probably be early 2027. Thinking about that and saying that out loud sounds absolutely insane, but if you want to really like give it your all and really want to do this like naturally and just have an incredible physique, the amount of time that it takes and the amount of level of execution it takes is just like, it's unfathomable to people that are not in it, and even people that are in it and people that work out religiously, they just can't even imagine taking it to that next level. And what I realized for myself is when I took it to that next level in prep of doing everything I needed to do, checking all the boxes every single day, not giving myself an option, but simply just doing, is the best I ever felt, the most progress I ever made, and completely changed my life. So I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen when I adopt that mindset and live out the next 2 years of off season doing that every single day. So now that that's out of the way, one thing I also haven't talked about on YouTube because it only happened around a month ago, we have a new supplement sponsor, and that is, if you can't tell, this is a My Protein shirt. I actually do like their clothes, and I'm probably gonna, I do train in their clothes, and I probably should post about it more, but we are working with My Protein for our supplement needs. So obviously I have a care package and I have like literally everything that they sent me, and I've been using for the last few months before the partnership, and then now that I'm going to continue to use. And I made a whole post on Instagram why I kind of decided to go with them, and I'll briefly summarize it here for you guys. But the main reason I did was I looked at their quality, I looked at their ingredient label, and pretty much all their products are obviously third-party tested like all supplement brands are, but the price in which they offer their supplements is pretty much the best on the market. And the reason why they do this is they sell things in bulk. So they sell whey protein and creatine in bigger quantities than kind of most companies do. And they don't worry about crazy advertising or crazy marketing, like sponsoring crazy athletes and paying them massive salaries, or crazy designs on their website or on their labels or in these random collab flavors. What they do is they offer good, high quality supplements, the basic stuff: caffeine pre-workout, protein powder, whey isolate, creatine monohydrate, good quality EAAs. And they provide all these supplements with just single ingredient labels, which is obviously what you want. Nothing else, no other fluff in the actual products that aren't really giving you any benefit. It's just the bare bones supplements that you want and that most people, 99% of people, need. And they provide them at a fraction of the cost of these other supplement companies. No $3 protein scoops, no $2.50 pre-workouts, no $1.50 creatines. Their whey protein isolate is something like 60 or 70 cents, depending if you're Canadian or US, which is undoubtedly the cheapest on the market for a pure whey isolate protein. They offer creatine at 30 cents Canadian, which is like 25 cents or 20 cents US per scoop, which is undoubtedly the cheapest on the market. Like, these prices you cannot find for this quality. I mean, I've tasted them. It's protein powder. It's not going to be anything crazy that's going to blow your socks off, but it's protein powder. Like chocolate brownie tastes like brownie. I have it every day. Solid tasting protein. I'm not gonna boast and say it's insane. It's the best thing I ever tasted, but it's easily like edible. Like, it's not like you drink it and you plug in your nose and you don't want to taste it. Like, it tastes fine, it gets the job done, and it's at a quarter of the price of what most of these supplement companies are charging. So that's why for the average person that doesn't want to spend $3 a scoop on protein, $1 a scoop on creatine, $2.50 for pre-workout, when like the tiny little extra things that they have are not even like backed by science, and it's going to make a less than 1% difference. So these are all just single ingredient supplements at pretty much the cheapest price you can find on the market. And I would love if anyone in the comments knows of cheaper supplements than my protein that are the same quality, that are pure whey isolate, that are pure creatine monohydrate, and that have, a formula of pre-workout the same as this. Comment it down below and I would love to take a look, because I'm currently not aware. But basically that's my rant. So that's my new supplement that I'm recommending to my clients because it's the most budget-friendly option that I'm recommending to my followers, and that I'm also using for myself. And if you want to check out anything they have from there, you can always use code PRFIT, and it depends what sales they're running on, but it'll just auto kind of give you the best sale that's available on the site at that time. So that's a pretty much just an update video for you guys about what I'm doing moving forward, how my mindset has shifted. And one thing I want to say too, I've spent like $1,000 on this camera setup. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this quality should be insane because I spent, $800 on the camera, and I bought these $300 mics. And I kind of bought it at the end of my prep, but I wasn't really using it because, I had Armand to record me for most of my sessions and my show and stuff. I wasn't really going to vlog that. But now that I'm done show and now that I bought this equipment, I have to start using it. So we are going to start up again, regular kind of consistent uploads on YouTube. It's going to be a mix of me in the gym with Armand. It's going to be a mix of kind of informative videos, like sit down talk videos, maybe with how my laptop screen kind of explaining more in-depth topics about, hypertrophy training, nutrition, fat loss, muscle gain, and all that type of stuff. As well as it's going to be, me vlogging my day-to-day, showing you guys what I'm eating, show you guys what my activity looks like, me kind of doing standalone videos in the gym. Like, I'm kind of thinking of doing some Sam Sulek style videos, just kind of vlogs, training, talking about it, maybe voiceovers, explaining things, just vlog style, as well as just packing a shit ton of volume in there. And I do want to make a lot more concerted effort to YouTube, because I feel like the feedback I get on YouTube is way better than any other social media, just because there's no like brain rot little kids just like talking shit and hating to hate. And I mean, that's just kind of how social medias are built. Like, all the short form content you see, there's no actual benefit you can get from them. Like, sure, you can pick up little tips and tricks and stuff, but everything is so compact that all of the nuanced detail, and there's so much nuanced detail in training and nutrition, for maximizing muscle growth, fat loss, and like with all this gym stuff and bodybuilding especially, that there's no actual like valuable content you can make that will like actually impact someone and teach them something in like 60 to 90 seconds. So that's why I always get good feedback from the YouTube videos because I can always kind of expand on my ideas, especially in the gym, and give like real detailed advice and like make content that I wish I had when I first got started. And that's always been my goal, and that will continue to be my goal. It's hard to do it with the short form on Instagram and TikTok, but it's a lot easier to do it on YouTube, which is why I always appreciate the support that you guys give me over here. Every like and every comment is appreciated, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And it always just motivates me to make more content on this platform, because to be real, it takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, and a lot of more investment, like money-wise, you know, get a cameraman, get an editor, and everything like that. But the return and what you guys get out of it is so much greater that whenever you guys kind of support it, it just kind of reaffirms me and motivates me that like, okay, it is worth the investment of time and money to, you know, produce this type of content because people are getting value from it. And that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video. It was a little bit of an update video, a little bit about me talking. I feel like I wanna do a lot more videos. Maybe this will just be a component of the vlog videos where I sit down and talk to the camera and talk about different things, because I have a lot of shit on my mind that I feel like people can actually benefit from, especially young men, and that's probably like 99% of my viewership. And again, just making content about, like, it doesn't always have to be lifting, it can just be about life and money and investing and you know talking about spirituality, talking about masculinity. Like, I don't think it has to be stuck in this kind of lens of just bodybuilding. That will always be my core, because at heart that's kind of what my passion is right now and where my goals align specifically. But I think I have a lot of stuff that I could say that would really help some people out there in different aspects. So that's probably a kind of avenue that I'm going to explore, you know, as I continue to pump these videos out in the near future. So if you want to see any of that or any other type of videos that I mentioned, always just make sure you subscribe. I don't really know how to end this video, so I'm just going to end it, but peace.